Before I present my arguments and rebuttal, I will be contending once more the definition of this debate. Our opposition has proposed that an ex-corruption convicts are allowed to run for legislative elections in the 2024 general election in our country as not to hinder their desire to serve the country. We contend with this definition as inaccurate and that in its place we should define the topic as not to permit the ex-corruptor from running in the legislative elections in the 2024 general election. This definition is far more reasonable as it allows for the debate to consider positive and negative of the ex-corruptors. The first speaker of the opposition contended that ex-corruptors can run the legislative election, while our team is convinced that the ex-corruptors should not be allowed to run the legislative election. Our team argue that this rule will bring no improvement into our country. Rather, it will bring our country to a worse condition of the corruption. Normatively, banning legislative candidates who are former prisoners of corruption is a progressive effort of the government to create a government that will be better or that will be free of corruption. The prohibition does not violate the concept of human rights protection. The election of legislators so bereft of integrity will only add to both regional and national parliaments' problems in the future. There is the danger that these individuals will seek to sow the seeds of corruption to other members in the parliament or even revert to their old ways and then continue to dabble in corruption. If an ex-corruptor wishes to run the legislative election, the person has to wait for 5 years after the person came out from the prison. This is done to avoid the same case from the same person, as it happened in the past and still happen in the present, and that is why we need to avoid to happen in the future. Some leaders in our country, in our cities, in our agencies, commit the same mistakes after they came out from the prison and after they are being elected as legislative members. That is why our team greatly agree that the ex-corruptors should be blocked from running the legislative election. And by doing so, we will have a better country, a country that will be free of corruption, or there will be less corruption people in our country, and so the prosperity of the little people can be guaranteed, that the little people can get their right, whatever they need in their life. Only when the corruptors are being blocked from being participated in the legislative election. Therefore, once more, The ex-corruptors should not be allowed in the legislative elections.